Hi, and welcome to our October Blue lesson. So our lesson for this week will be called The Four Evangelists, and this lesson is all about the Gospels. And so I think sometimes that's maybe the easiest part of the Bible for us because they're the stories of Jesus. So as with any lesson, you want to start with Scripture, and so around the front of your page you have says begin with Scripture. There's a little quote you can pray together, and then a prayer to bring you into the idea of what we're doing right now. We're talking about Jesus in the Gospels. And then we go into this idea, why do we spend so much time on the Gospels? Because Jesus is at the center of the Gospels, and so because he's at the center of the Gospels and he's at the center of our faith, we want to spend a lot of time there. So when you get to the second page, or the first page on the inside cover, just summarize that with your kids, kind of go over like why. There's a couple cool quotes from St. Therese of Lisieux and Pope Pius X about like why the Gospels are amazing. And then after that, just spend a little time talking about like why are the Gospels written down? Okay, like why did they write them down? Why they just, did you have to write them? And so this kind of explains why that was important. So kind of talk about that. Then after that, you have a page, or a little bit, one is a little more than a page, for each of the gospel writers. So we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so you're going to have these little pieces, and these are things you want to cut out ahead of time. Your older kids could cut these out themselves for you guys. They can get the game ready, but your littles are going to do it. So there's four of those: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're your like little game boards, okay, when you're playing the game. And then you have the little cards. There's 3 sets: level 1, level 2, and bonus level. And so on the back of the cards are little like statements, and then you have to guess where they go. So what you want to do first before you play the game, because you need to know what's happening to be able to play the game, you want to go and you want to read these things. So just tell your kids, what we're going to read about St. Matthew and St. Mark and St. Luke and St. John, and we're going to listen really carefully because we are going to get clues to be able to play the game, okay? So as you're reading it, now obviously your littles are not going to grasp as much as your older kids, and that's okay, because 3 years from now, we're going to play this game all over again, and they're going to be able to grasp more than they do now. So they'll get some things, and they won't, okay? But you can play the game with them, and you kind of can test your knowledge, too. Like, how much do I already know? How much did I remember from what we read? So it can be kind of a fun family game. Maybe you want to play it the first time, the whole family together, and people can, like, shout out the answers when it says, like, here's the clue, says, I died a martyr in Ethiopia. Okay, who was that? We read about it, so we'll be able to figure that out. So some of the basics your littles will get, and then your olders can know more. I would recommend trying to have all your kids play it at least once by themselves without the whole group, especially I'd say, 4th to 6th graders for sure. They definitely want to be playing on their own as well, because we want to see how much knowledge they can remember. So don't tell your kids, but the answers are on the back. Okay, so as you're playing the game, because there's a few you're like, I'm not sure. So level 1 is definitely for your littles. Level 2 is definitely for your 4th to 6th graders. They can play both, level 1 and level 2. And then they have some bonus questions, which honestly, the bonus questions, the answers are not inside of what you read. You might have to pull out that Bible and actually look those up. So it's kind of fun. You'll learn a lot. I'm actually going to play it with my husband. We're going to pull this out and play it, and then maybe we'll even pull it out Thanksgiving when my daughter and son-in-law are here. We can play and see how much we remember or know from what we learned in the past. So kind of cool information. You learn things like where they're from, who were they writing to. Like the different Gospels are written to different audiences. Like, who were they writing to? What was special about this particular Gospel? Like, what was special about this one? Where they preached, where they died, all but one was a martyr. And their feast days, as well as their symbol, which is one that the littles can definitely get, because the symbol is also on here. Okay, so see what happens. Like I said, anything we learn is something we didn't know before. We don't have to know everything, but anything we learn helps us to know a little bit more about the Gospels and obviously about Jesus. So thank you so much for being here. Remember, what you do with your kids is what matters the most, okay? They don't have to know everything at the end of this year, but they're going to know something more than they knew last month, okay? And so also remember that time of prayer together, that time of reading the Bible together. Those are all important pieces of that time of teaching your children their faith, okay? If you want them to learn their faith and keep their faith, the most important way for that to happen is the faith lived in the family. So you guys have a great weekend, and next week I'll be back with the video about the purple lesson, which is where those cardstock pieces go. They will require cutting out by parents ahead of time. So if you want to get a little head start on that cutting, you can, and we'll talk more about that next week. So have a great weekend. God bless you. Bye.